Enjoy your food. Radhika, sit in the other class. Enjoy. Huh? Joanna?
No, sir.
Had enough, na? इसका भी don't keep it half. Completely. Thank you. अच्छी तरह. So, Arya, stomach full. Now study is full. ठीक है ना? सीधे क्वेश्चन सब खाली आपने खाना ब्रेकफास्ट हो गया सबका अंशुल सोहन राइट ब्रेकफास्ट नहीं खाया इम्पोर्टेंट ओके कौन अच्छा तन्मय नहीं खाया आपने खा लीजिए बाहर जाके. So today we are going on another topic which is already we have discussed, I think so, electrolysis. Great detail, isn't it? अब आपको क्या करना है, जितने क्वेश्चंस नहीं किए उसको घर में सॉल्व करना है, राइट ना? जो है ना, क्या चाहिए आपको? हाँ? Dust allergy. हाँ. You want to go out and हाँ? जाओ बाहर जाके आराम से take some fresh air. Okay? So you take that. Inhaler is there, ना? little. Now, AC चालू करो, full blast कर दो AC. उधर भी चालू करो. That is okay? ठीक है. Everyone comfortable. It is a beautiful day outside. क्योंकि थोड़ा सा क्या हो रहा है, sun is also not very much harsh at this moment, ठीक है? And same time we are finding 4 ladies over there standing, ठीक है ना? Carrying something on the top. Okay, so now what is important over here? दिख रहा है आपको प्रश्न? नहीं दिख रहा है? खड़े होके देखिए, जब चार ladies खड़े ना. Now, what is important over here is the chemical bonding. Chemical bonding नहीं किया ना अभी तक? पहले chemical bonding कर लेते ना? Chemical bonding स्कूल में किए कि नहीं? Short topic, short and sweet करके फिर acid bases, because that is a bigger topic. ठीक है ना? ये 2 लेक्चर में हो जाएगा. आज के लेक्चर में ना, आज और next time means at least the content.
Yes.
Then next time we'll discuss about the acid, bases and salts. यानी 2 लेक्चर में नहीं होगा, लेकिन 2-3 लेक्चर में हो जाएगा. बहुत ही simple and very cool topic, chemical bonding. C for chemical bonding and C for cool. Right? ठीक है. It's very short and sweet. Why it is a cool topic? Because बहुत ही short and sweet है. ठीक है. What is chemical bonding, children? Let us understand this. Chemical bonding. Bond means what? Basically a force of attraction. ठीक है. Force of attraction which binds two or more atoms together and form a stable molecule. You can don't write anything, listen to it carefully. Basically, it's a force of attraction. एक attractive force develop होता है between two atoms, two or more atoms together, okay, and form molecule, stable molecule. That means that force of attraction is existing in your finger also. Okay, you are keeping finger in this manner. Look at this. His finger becoming longer. No. Why? Because there is a force of attraction which is pulling it back. There is a pullback force. Pullback in it, it's not allowing the particles to come down. That means there must be force of attraction. I want to break this, but I am not able to break it. Why? Because there is a force of attraction which is holding the particles together. That means, in short, if I have to break it, I have to overcome this force of attraction which is there in this marker or this finger. Yes or no? अगर force of attraction नहीं होता तो just you are looking at a person, okay? And what happens? He crumbles down into pieces. हो सकता है क्या ऐसा? तुम एक person को tough look दे, ऐसा हो सकता है, लेकिन large amount of energy is required over there. Like Tansen used to look at the bulb, continuous full concentration. The bulb used to break. Tansen, one famous singer, Navratna of King Akbar. Tansen, singer. So with the help of his music, he used to call the deer from the jungle. He used to create fire because of energy. इतना energy create हो रहा था. He used to produce fire. उसको क्या बोलते हैं? राग. Fire को क्या बोलते हैं? नहीं, उसमें okay. And then sometimes ऐसे वो he used to sing some songs. The kind of ragas bolte हैं जिसको. It used to create rain. Okay, the energy. Like we have to supply energy, then only it will come. So what I'm trying to tell you is that there is some kind of force which is binding the particles together. This board has got some particles which are binded together because the moment I apply, it doesn't split up. Or I have to rub this particular marker ka ink, then only it comes on this board, na? Look at this. I'm keeping over here. Are the words coming? No. Unless I push, I break this board, then only it will come. Right, na? यानी चौक से हम लोग जब लिखते तो हम लोग रब करते तो उसका पार्टिकल जो फोर्स है ब्रेक होके यहाँ पे एनर्जी सप्लाइड एंड देन ओनली the words will come on the board, na? Chalk dust, because there is some force of attraction between the chalk particles. Okay, so this force of attraction which binds the two or more atoms together to form a stable molecule is called as a chemical bond. But what about, I mean, like for example, that means there are two kinds of atoms. Atoms are actually atoms of elements are of two kinds: stable and unstable. And the stable, for example, state, there are 6 inert gases. One is helium, second is neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. Yes or no? Atomic number 2, 10, 18, 36, 54 and 86. You say, how come they are stable? These elements, okay, atoms of course, elements, okay, they are stable. So helium has got 2. So that means in the first shell 2 electrons. Neon 2,8. Then argon 2,8,8. 8 electrons. 36, 2, 8, 18, 8. Yes or no? 36, 26 or 10, 36. ठीक है ना? ये क्या है children? 2, 8, 18, 18, 8. Yes or no? ठीक है? Then it is 2, 8, 18, 32, 18, 8. 86. But what is common thing except helium, which is having duplet, but they're stable, okay, all other elements are having 8 electrons. So what is the fact over here? The concept says that if an element is having duplet, that is 2 electrons in the outermost shell or 8 electrons, in fact 8 electrons in the outermost shell, that means those atoms are stable. And if they are not having 8 electrons, neither having 8 means either less than 8, normally less than 8, okay, then definitely what? They are unstable. So if they are less than 8 or not having 8 electrons, that means those elements are unstable. So what they do? They do certain processes to attain stability. In other words, according to a scientist called Lewis and Cossel, which is also called as what? Octet theory. It was provided by octet rule, given by, or octet theory, given by what? Lewis and Cossel. They said in the atoms, during the bond formation, in the formation of a chemical bond, listen to it carefully, in the formation of, because atoms which are unstable, they would like to form a chemical bond. Okay, na? In the formation of a chemical bond, atoms tend to, what processes they will do? They will tend to lose or gain or what? Share electrons from their outermost shell, of course. Because outermost shell electrons only are taking part in the bond formation. From their outermost shell to attain stability, okay, that is 8 electrons in the outermost shell. Okay. 8 electrons they will acquire either by losing, okay, either by losing or gaining or sharing. If they don't actually do this process, they will not attain stability. Right? That means what is important over here, that losing, gaining or sharing से क्या होगा उन लोग का outermost shell में 8 electrons आ जाएंगे, and that will create a kind of what? Bond, I mean stability, and this is happening only in the formation of what? A chemical bond. Remember. Now, let us understand that means the process of losing or gaining, ठीक है ना, is nothing but what? It's one type of bond. तो अगर suppose एक atom lose कर रहा है, दूसरा atom gain कर रहा है, तो वो कौन सा bond form करे? Ionic bond. और इसको दूसरा नाम क्या दिया जाता है? Electrovalent bond. ठीक है ना? You are losing your book, your friend has gained. Ionic bond formation. तुमने अपना book अपने friend को दे दिए, उसने ले लिया. Bond formation. He remembers you for a longer, I mean, permanently. And you remember him also because you have lost that book to him. Okay, na? Likewise, sharing, mutual sharing of electrons. You are sharing some materials, the other person is also sharing. Both of you are sharing some, let us say, for example, a kind of, let us say, material or opinion or whatever, okay? Or some kind of topic you are sharing. Every time you actually what? Be comfortable. And therefore, this sharing, mutual sharing of electrons leads to what? Another type of bonding. Covalent bonding. Right? और इसको बोलते हैं dative bonding बोलते हैं, ठीक है? Like you are sharing मूली का पराठा and your friend is bringing आलू का पराठा. दोनों एक दूसरे को अपना आधा पराठा share करें. Okay, what your mother has prepared, or that your friend's mother has prepared. So that is the way we actually tend to remember, and that is a bond formation kind of process. तुम अकेले खा रहे हो, और तुम्हारा फ्रेंड अकेले का, तो उसमें क्या हुआ, शेयरिंग नहीं हुआ, बॉन्ड फॉर्मेशन नहीं हुआ, ठीक है ना। तुम एक कॉर्नर में, फ्रेंड तुम्हारा दूसरे कॉर्नर में, so there is no question of bond formation over there, right? This is something which is bond formation. Likewise, so what is important over here, that's why people, they tend to share tiffin box, they tend to share the books, they tend to give the book to the the other person who requires it. This is a helping world basically, ठीक है ना. यहाँ पे people have to help one another, then only the movement will take place. Anyway, what is important over here is that this is an electrovalent bond, this is covalent. So we have to understand mainly two types of bonds in this chapter. One is ionic bond, other is covalent bond, ठीक है ना. तो इतना तक अभी लिख लीजिए और फिर उसके बाद हम लोग देखते हैं आगे. Ratika, you were upset last time. क्या हो गया? Not well. So miss the lecture. Otherwise, lecture missing is what you lose that content. उसमें topic हो गया, right ना? Have you copied down those answers? सब हाँ. Immediately update yourself. और कौन absent था? हाँ? कोई भी absent नहीं था ना? पेपर मिला केमिस्ट्री पेपर हाँ Over. Okay, now let us come to, for example, here, the first type of bond, which is called as what? Ionic. Sabka ho gaya? Okay. Now we know that the atoms are unstable, and if the atoms are unstable, they would like to go for one type of bond, which is called as what? Ionic bond. Okay. So first, let us understand this formation of or ionic bond ka concept. What is ionic bond, or what is the other name for ionic bond? Electrovalent bond. Okay. Okay. What is electrovalent or ionic bond? Ionic bond is basically a force of attraction. Okay. Force of attraction between two oppositely charged ions. Two oppositely, or we can say between positive, that is cations, and negative ions, that is anions. The force of attraction between positively charged or positive ions and the negative ions in a molecule is called as ionic. Now, how this force of attraction is developed between ions, how this positive and negative ions are developed, for that let us understand. We know very well formation of sodium chloride decay. Okay. Now the salt which we have is an ionic compound, which is nothing but made up of Na plus and Cl minus. Okay. Now the formation of sodium chloride, if you see clear, let us try it over here. In the formation of a chemical bond, which is called octet. Why is it called octet? Because 8 means octet. Okay. Let us see this formation of sodium chloride. Okay, which is a salt, which is also called rock salt. Okay, now what happens? Let us see sodium. Sodium has got an atomic number of 11. What is that? So, what is the electronic configuration? 2, 8, 1. Now, to complete its octet, it requires 7 electrons, which is very difficult to gain. Right? So, what it does it loses electron. Okay, it would like to lose electrons so that it's actually what? Having 8 electrons in the outermost shell. On the other hand, chlorine having an atomic number 17, its electronic configuration is 287. So 7 electron उसके outermost shell में, yes or no? जब 7 electron है, that means definitely it is on the verge of stability. So what it will do, in order to actually what attain stability, it will gain 1 electron from sodium, and sodium will lose 1 electron. Yes or no? That means the elements which are actually what away from number 8, that is having 1, 2, or 3 electrons, they will lose. The elements which are having 5, 6, and 7, they will gain. The elements which are gainers, they are non-metals, and the elements which are losers of electrons are called as metals. And इसमें एक metal होना चाहिए, दूसरा non-metal, right? And let me give you one story, okay, to understand this particular bond formation. Okay, let us say, for example, there were 2 friends. Okay, both of them actually what were in the school. वेरी क्लोज फ्रेंड्स, ठीक है ना, बहुत ही क्लोज। और हम लोग पढ़ रहे थे एक दिन स्कूल में, ये पहला फ्रेंड आई मीन पहला स्टूडेंट चाइल्ड और दूसरा, ठीक है। Immediately they got the notification from the school teacher, or we can say the office people, that today you have to pay the fees, okay, by 2 o'clock. Some fees was pending, so they were. I mean, this is a village school, we can say. At that time the fees was 8 rupees. 40-50 years back का story है। तो स्कूल में 8 रुपए फीस था, विलेज स्कूल में, ठीक है। Now 1 बजे स्कूल छूटा। These two children they came out with heavy heart. और यहाँ पे है ना, there was a tree. ठीक है, ये ट्री जो है इसकी यहाँ पे बैठ गई। They started contemplating what we have to do. इनके पास 1 रुपया था, इनके पास 7 रुपये। ये बड़ा एक प्रॉब्लम था कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल ये दोनों ने 7 रुपये 8 रुपये उनके पास, दोनों के पास नहीं है। Since they were very close, ठीक है, friends, okay, they started thinking about कि 2 बजे तक टाइम है, 1 बजे स्कूल छूटा, all the friends had the classmates have gone, okay, very few were there, but they were not having money to give them, ठीक है। तो and this a village means इनका घर ये स्कूल से 5 किलोमीटर दूर है। जैसे यहाँ से अपना CBD, अब जाके आना में 2 बजे तो डिफिकल्ट होगा। किसी को there was no phone and other things that time, so they could not inform their parents also. So ये स्टूडेंट क्या बोला, do one thing, you take this 1 rupee, go in the office, school office, ठीक है, pay that 8 rupees. At least you will be allowed in the school for next few days. After few days, of course, I will arrange, nothing to worry, but you go and take it, okay? And this friend says, how can actually what I go without you? At least you will go and then you will study in the school and you come back outside. I'll be sitting outside under this particular banyan tree and I will wait and you teach me, okay? I'll complete my homework for a couple of days. We cannot tell our parents now, but you take it and then go. And then I will somehow manage with my parents, okay? By doing this, he attains the stability by giving, and he attains the stability by, for example, giving the money, and he attains the stability by gaining, and that is the way the bond formation takes place. So till today, this child remembers this, and he remembers this. That means the idea is that one will have to lose, and another have to gain. That means this kind of friendship is said to be what kind of ionic bond formation. There one believe in losing, other believe in gaining. Believe means he was not believing in terms of, he was not accepting it, but he could understand, yes, I can go and attend the lecture, because that time internet and all those things were not there. Google कुछ नहीं था कि चलो Google से पढ़ लेंगे, खुद ही टीचर का नोट्स और ये सब अपना पढ़ते थे, ठीक है। Now, so for that, let us see. So sodium has got 1 electron in the outermost shell. We show by a what? Cross. इसको बोलते हैं Lewis symbol, right? Lewis symbol का मतलब क्या है? We represent, for example, the symbol of an element with the valence electrons in the form of cross or dot. Okay. On the other hand, chlorine has got, for example, 7 electrons. So 7 electrons कैसे लिखने का? East, west, north, south. अब 4 हो गए. Again, east, west, north या south, and एक बचा. उसको पैरा कहते हैं. Now these electrons which are in the form of pair, they are called as lone pair of electrons or unshared pair of electrons. और जो अकेला है वो single electron. That means there are 2 kinds of electrons in an atom: paired electrons and unpaired. जो unpaired है will participate in the bond formation. Why? Because that is unpaired. सबने अपना दो स्टूडेंट का ग्रुप बना लिया, एक अकेला बैठा है, और यहाँ पे दूसरे क्लासरूम में एक और स्टूडेंट बैठा है अकेला, तो ये अकेला फिर दो अकेले हो जाएंगे, मींस कंबाइन हो जाएंगे, ठीक है ना। वो दूसरे क्लास में बैठ जाता है और दोनों एक जगह कॉरिडोर में जाके बैठ जाएंगे, बिकॉज दे वांट टू अटेन अ काइंड ऑफ स्टेबिलिटी, ठीक है ना? That means the idea is ये अपना इलेक्ट्रॉन इसको दे देगा और ये ले लेंगे. And therefore what will happen? This sodium, once it loses, what is the electronic configuration? 2,8. And this particular sodium gets what charge? Positive charge. Why? Because its electron has gone to the other. On the other hand, chlorine, वो एक रुपया ले लेगा, या एक electron in this case. And finally, what will happen? Negative charge created. And this is positive. This is, there is a force of attraction between positive and negative. ये न्यूक्लियस इलेक्ट्रॉन को खींच रहा है, ये इलेक्ट्रॉन न्यूक्लियस को खींच रहा है, आपस में बॉन्ड फॉर्मेशन. This kind of bond which is existing between oppositely charged ions is called as what? Ionic bond or electrovalent. Why electrovalent? Because the electrons from the valence, valence shell are being utilized for, transferring. So this is a transference of electron, and this transference of electrons has led to the bond formation. What are the conditions for this bond formation? One should be a metal. अच्छा इसमें एक electronic configuration क्या हो जाएगा? 2,8,8 means outermost shell में आठ electrons. So this acquires an inert gas configuration of neon, and this acquires an inert gas configuration of argon. If neon and argon are stable, that means sodium ion and Cl minus ion is stable. If each individual members in that molecule is stable, that means the whole family is stable. The whole molecule is stable. Or whole molecule is stable means individual members are also stable. If पूरा family हम लोग stable है, तो individual members must be stable. अगर एक भी बीमार पड़ गया तो पूरे family में effect आता है. There is a meaning. So both atoms are stable, ions are stable. And that is nothing but what? Bond formation. What are the conditions for this bond formation? One should be a metal, other should be a non-metal. What is the meaning of metal? That means it should lose electrons. Other should gain electrons. You are trying to give a beggar 5 rupees. He is not ready to accept. मुझे नहीं चाहिए. वो बोल रहा मुझे नहीं चाहिए. आप क्यों दे रहे हैं? मुझे चाहिए नहीं. तो तुम लूजर कैसे बने? तुम लूजर तो बने नहीं क्योंकि उसने गेन नहीं किया. Right ना? You'll become gainer only when he will become gainer only when you lose. Therefore, no bond formation with the beggar. Beggar के साथ तुम bond अपना connect नहीं कर पाए. Instability आ गया. Sir, मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगा उसने लिए मुझे. It's like saying sometimes you actually what somebody comes to your house, ठीक है? और तुमने उसको पानी नहीं दिया. और वो unstable feel कर. अरे सर पानी तक पूछा नहीं मुझे. I understand. This is something which is so. Next time I will not go to his house. Why? Sir, पानी भी नहीं पूछा. पानी नहीं पूछा means what? You are not losing a glass of water and he's not ready to gain. और कभी-कभी ऐसा भी हुआ है. You give a glass of water. नहीं पानी नहीं चाहिए. कोरोना में ऐसा बहुत बार हुआ सब लोग को. Sir, I have got my bottle. क्योंकि वो, for example, it was contagious. Okay, तो सब लोग अपना पानी लेके आ रहे थे, अपना खाना लेके आ रहे. No sharing, nothing. Bond formation हो ही नहीं रहा. Next door neighbor was becoming like a stranger. Right? That is the meaning of this. I mean, and therefore you realize, like before this pandemic, everybody was together. Now everybody is separating. It's because the bond formation may affect others. So one important thing. One should be metal, other should be non-metal. One should lose electron, other should be gain electrons. One should have a low ionization enthalpy or ionization potential. Okay? Other should have high ionization or high electron affinity. Right? What is high electron affinity? Gaining tendency. What is high ionization potential? Low ionization potential, losing. Clear? Difference in the electronegativity should be very large. Difference in the electronegativity means what? One should be less electronegative, other should be more electronegative. Okay, मालूम है ना? पढ़ा है ना? Periodic table. उसमें आपको difference ज़्यादा होना चाहिए. एक loser होना चाहिए, एक gainer. So these are the conditions for the bond formation. Okay, but what are the properties of this? Always it leads to the formation of a compound. Secondly, ये compounds they will melt at a very high temperature. इन लोग का boiling point high रहेगा, melting point high रहेगा, plus इन लोग का hardness बहुत ज़्यादा रहेगा. Why? Positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. ये देखो ये अपना क्रिस्टल स्ट्रक्चर है। यानी नमक का आपका अगर पार्टिकल लेंगे तो ऐसा इसमें अरेंजमेंट होगा, ठीक है ना, पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव, इसके नीचे नेगेटिव आएगा, ऑल्टरनेट आएगा। अब इसको हम ब्रेक करेंगे, ट्राई करेंगे ब्रेक करना, या हाथ से इसको स्प्लिट करने का कोशिश नहीं हो रहा है। क्यों? स्ट्रॉन्ग इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन। यू पुट इट डाउन, फोर्स ज्यादा हो गया तो शायद पीसेस में ब्रेक, पार्टली थोड़ा ब्रेक हो जाएगा, बट इट विल नॉट बी हाफ। Why? Hardness is very high. Okay. Likewise, this same substance you put in water, थोड़ा water में डाल दीजिए, तो क्या होगा? Water separates them. Then they convert into what? Ions. ये देखो, like electrolysis अभी किया ना, तो क्या हो जाएगा? Ions get separated. And what is happening around them? Water molecules. Right? So these water molecules, what they do? They tend to actually what surround and therefore they separate, and therefore they become good conductor of electricity. That means in the solid state, they do not conduct electricity. But in the case of, for example, dissolving in water or in the molten state, the electrostatic forces are broken down. This is called electrostatic forces. They break down and finally what? They become good conductor of electricity because there are free ions. And that means they become electrolytes in aqueous solutions. Okay, and therefore they are good conductors of electricity. Clear? Did you follow? So write down this one. आपको दो डायग्राम बनाना है. One is calcium oxide and second is magnesium chloride. These are there in the textbook. क्या हुआ? तन्मय ओवर. So Tanmay will come over here and draw the calcium oxide formation. But after you have drawn in the book, this side, Rudresh, you will come and draw magnesium chloride. But before that, write down, ठीक है? और वहां पे तन्मय को हेल्प करने के लिए who will come? Arya will come and, for example, Acha, you will want to come. Prashansa wants to come. Here, Arnav, na? Arav, sorry, Arav, Rudresh को आपकी मदद चाहिए. You will have to come and, in case it is not able to draw. ठीक है? तो पहले आपको क्या करना है? पहले अपने बुक में ड्रॉ कीजिए and check in your from the notes or from your.
Sir, which one? Dot one or?
Dot structure. Shell diagram नहीं है ना? Out of syllabus.
No, out of syllabus.
Shell diagram.
Magnesium oxide.
Magnesium oxide नहीं, calcium oxide and magnesium oxide दिए कि कौन सा दिए? Magnesium chloride दिए और magnesium calcium oxide दिए ना? हाँ, those two you have to draw. Radhika will be second helping hand in the diagram. But first, all of you have to draw. If you want, you can check the book also, the textbook here, notes, how they have drawn it. Electron. Dot also indicates electrons. Question sir, mobile after the exams हो गया आपका दोनों हो गया गुड कैल्शियम ऑक्साइड एंड मैग्नीशियम क्लोराइड now who will come तन्मय आ जाओ ठीक है तन्मय come here अच्छा, you are drawing. You will help her or she will help you? अच्छा, she wants to draw. Okay, चलो ठीक है. अच्छा, और रुद्रेश, right? और अपना आरव आके हेल्प करेंगे, ठीक है? चलो, now कम क्वेश्चन हो गया आपका? तन्मय हो गया आपका? आइए इधर बनाइए. Draw dot structure of calcium oxide, magnesium chloride. Yes, calcium oxide. Write the structure of पहला कौन सा दिया हम लोग ने? कैल्शियम ऑक्साइड ना? डॉट स्ट्रक्चर. चलो आ जाओ. कम तुम्हारे को अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल रहा है प्लेटफॉर्म में खड़े होके यहाँ पे आंसर ठीक है ना? चलो अरे हेल्पर आउट. कैल्शियम के पास राइट डाउन द इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन. कैल्शियम का इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन क्या है? 2. Yeah, very good. Shreya is telling the answer. 2882, right? ऑक्सीजन कितने हैं? ऑक्सीजन के पास कितने इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हैं? तन्मय कितने इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हैं ऑक्सीजन के पास? 6. Very good. How will you write east, west, north, south? फिर दो इलेक्ट्रॉन. कितना इलेक्ट्रॉन चाहिए ऑक्सीजन को? 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन. ऑक्टेट कंप्लीट. वेरी गुड. कैल्शियम +2 ऑक्साइड 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन दोनों इसका आ गया, राइट? ट्रैक्शन. कैल्शियम ऑक्साइड. तन्मय कुछ आपको हेल्प करना है उसमें? कुछ भी नहीं. कुछ तो इधर मिसिंग है. व्हाट इज मिसिंग? सोहन क्या लग रहा है आपको मिसिंग में? जोएना, व्हाट इज मिसिंग ओवर हियर? इधर क्या मिस हो रहा है? राइट. चलो लिखो. सबको आ गया ये? Anybody having any doubt? Tell me. Right? We have done that chapter electrolysis ना, तो आपको इजी पड़ेगा. उसमें आयंस और ये सब एटम्स हमने देख लिया ना, तो ये थोड़ा सा इजी पड़ेगा कंपैरेटिव. ओके, नाउ मैग्नीशियम क्लोराइड. कब रुद्रेश? ये ले ब्लैक कलर. रब कर दो. हो गया सबका वो? चलो रब कर दो वो वाला. डस्टर इधर है. राइट. मैग्नीशियम क्लोराइड. इतना उधर मत, इधर थोड़ा सा इधर रब कर दो. कुछ भी नहीं होगा. नथिंग टू वरी. वो वेपराइज हो जाएगा. किधर इलेक्ट्रॉन किधर बनाया आपने? अरे 2 पहले डॉट तो बनाओ इलेक्ट्रॉन.
Sir, like this and
कैसे लाइक दिस? नहीं, अरे वो डॉट n नंबर डॉट्स नहीं बना. 2 डॉट. एक मिनट रुद्रेश, क्या बना रहे हो तुम?
Sir, Cl will gain one electron.
आरो हाँ helping
Lose one.
nothing to worry चलो बड़ा बनाओ सर्कल थोड़ा सा अरे और बड़ा हॉलो बनाओ ना सर्कल ऐसा हॉलो बनाना हाँ चलो ठीक है
Oh, sir.
इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन ठीक है तुम ऐसे डॉट 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 ऐसे बिंदी बिंदी बनाओ बिंदी बिंदी ठीक है जब बड़े हो जाओगे तो ऐसा ठीक है कि नहीं 28 क्या है और इधर क्या हो जाएगा नहीं वो 281 281 287 287 लिखना पड़ेगा ना अभी तक फॉर्मेशन नहीं हुआ ना जस्ट गिवन ना 281 नहीं 287 है ना क्लोरीन में हाँ 7 लिखा था क्या हाँ चलो नाउ फॉर्मेशन नीचे बना दो चाहिए
Mp2 plus Cl 1 2 plus
2 किधर बना रहे हो उधर कैसे आएगा नहीं ऊपर Cl नीचे Cl जाओ विदेश बैठ जाओ
नहीं पैटर्न दिया होगा
अरे पैटर्न नहीं है इधर क्या हो जाएगा इधर क्या हो जाएगा Cl विदेश
क्या
देखो ऐसा देखो ये इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है इधर -1 और इधर देखो ये क्या हो जाएगा ये Cl ठीक है चलो जाओ हो गया
सर मुझे बना सकता है ऐसे
तुमको फिर से बनाना है बनाओ आ जाओ नहीं समझ में आया ना डॉट्स कंटिन्यूअस डॉट नहीं डालना है मुझे भैया थैंकफुल कि तुमने अपना सबको हंसाया so much of stress is there जी नोटबुक में अच्छा बना है बराबर
अरे सर वो पैटर्न
चलेगा नो प्रॉब्लम अरे सी वी आर लर्निंग स्टेज ना नथिंग टू वरी अभी उन्होंने देखिए उन्होंने नहीं बनाया उन्होंने बनाया हेल्पिंग हैंड ठीक है ना नाउ लेट अस कम टू द नेक्स्ट वन एंड दैट इज ठीक है what is important over here to understand is that this magnesium chloride is nothing but what magnesium is losing electron and achieving an octet state ठीक है and therefore it is achieving what oops यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है ये हो रहा है this is achieving what neon gas configuration this is achieving what argon ठीक है and therefore stability बराबर दिखा आपने लिखा कि नहीं लिख लो मैग्नीशियम क्लोराइड हाँ बना दिए कि नहीं पहले वाला हाँ ओके नाउ लेट अस कम टू द रीडिंग पार्ट रुद्रेश प्लीज रीड आउट द फर्स्ट इंट्रोडक्शन पहले इंट्रोडक्शन में कैसे करना है देखो एक एक लाइन सब लोग एक एक सेंटेंस सब लोग पढ़ेंगे रुद्रेश फिर आरव फिर अंशुल सोन फिर राधिका ऐसे करके एक एक सेंटेंस पढ़ेंगे अबाउट आयोनिक बॉन्ड एंड द इनिशियल पार्ट ऑफ दिस टॉपिक ठीक है ना सो दैट एटलीस्ट विल कम टू नो एनी मिस आउट पॉइंट्स कुछ है so we can cover up those points ठीक है चलो रुद्रेश पढ़ी
A chemical bond will be defined as the force of attraction between two atoms in a molecule to maintain stability.
yes very good next one
Types of chemical bonds.
sentence खत्म हुआ then you to give to the other then
Types of chemical bonds: that covalent or ionic bond, covalent or molecular bond, coordinate bond.
coordinate covalent bond last time so then
Electrovalent or ionic bond. The electrovalent or ionic bond is formed by the complete transference of one or more electrons from one atom to the other.
yes
conditions for the formation of an electrovalent/ionic bond. When an ionic compound is formed, the neutral atom is changed to a cation and an anion.
Yes.
The formation of cations and anions depends on the following factors.
एक ही सेंटेंस पढ़ना राधिका पढ़िए
Electronegativity. If the difference in the electronegativities of two elements is higher than the transfer of electrons, then the transfer of electrons will be easier. Therefore, know the difference in electronegativity.
एक सेंटेंस पढ़ लिया कि दो सेंटेंस पढ़ रहे हैं एक ही चल रहा है
More will be the ionic nature of
yes more will be the ionic large difference in the electronegativity means what more will be the ionic character because one is a good loser other is a good acceptor is a good loser is a good acceptor ठीक है ना तो एक बहुत ही ज्यादा उसका प्रॉपर्टी होना चाहिए losing and the other element should have what tendency of gaining it's like saying this way your friend is looking at you and you understand what he requires and you give it to him. Okay, जैसे for example he requires $100 बिना बोले तुमने अगर तुमने दे दिया उसको और उसने ले लिया good ionic bond there is no need to express because you understand what he needs or the person needs and without asking only the like suppose उसको book चाहिए और तुमने उसने पूछा भी नहीं और तुमने दे दिया and उसने ले भी लिया because he knew that yes I needed it desperately that book because tomorrow is my exam and you have given without thinking that tomorrow मेरा भी exam है stability bond formation चलो मैं दूसरा book से पढ़ लूँगा text book से पढ़ लूँगा so this kind of bond formation has taken place ठीक है ना next one
ionization potential. If the ionization potential of a particular atom is low, it will lose electrons
Yes.
easily. That is, cation is formed easily.
yes that is magnesium का ionization potential low है chlorine का ionization potential high है या electron affinity is higher okay come on then
Electron affinity.
निहाली पढ़िए
If the electron affinity value is high, an ion will be formed easily. That is, a higher electron affinity value favors ionic bonding.
हाँ पास पढ़ा कि किसी ने समझे नहीं फिर से बोल
If the electron affinity value is high,
आराम से पढ़िए थोड़ा ब्रीदिंग लीजिए सांस लीजिए आप नहीं तो क्या होगा ब्रेथलेस एक सॉन्ग आया था ना ब्रेथलेसनेस वैसा चलो
if the electron affinity value is high, an ion formed, an ion will be formed easily. That is, higher electron affinity value favors ionic bonding.
yes higher electron affinity tendency of gaining remember okay it's very important एक gainer होना चाहिए अच्छा gainer होना चाहिए दूसरा loser ये point बहुत important because एक strong ionic character बनेगा उसमें ठीक है कि नहीं यानी we have to be what अरे we should not be hesitant in taking the material ठीक है कि नहीं किसी ने दे दिया और मम्मी जाके तुमको she scolds you why there is no need to accept why because anything they give you and you take accept nowadays is very risky why anybody is giving you for example water or some kind of food उसमें क्या रहता है some unconscious kind of medicine और तुम actually what for example लेके as a thinking because sir ने sir ionic bond सिखाया है let me be a good gainer but every time you cannot do with a stranger or anybody कि कोई तुमको खाने का मटेरियल दे रहा और खा ले रहा और फिर what happens उसमें अगर कुछ actually what medicine है या कुछ ऐसा है it might react so we have to see to it कि person should be known to you okay or the person who is giving is known and the person who is taking also should be known ठीक है ना then only the bond formation will take place if any Tom Dick and Harry will give you for example any material and you take it वैसे नहीं चलेगा means वहाँ पे bond formation नहीं हो सकेगा वहाँ पे some kind of for example what do you say some kind of trouble may arise तो आपको ये ध्यान में रखना है कि this kind of bond formation is only with known people known entities basically that's why magnesium loses and chlorine gains ठीक है ना चलो then who's the next
Properties
Tanmay
of
पढ़िए
electrovalent compounds.
properties
These are compounds are usually hard solids. They are
Hard solid, underline that. They are not soft, they are hard. अपना नमक है क्या? You know, for example, alum आपने देखा? The other day I wanted to break that alum. I was not able to break with my fingers, with my hand. Why? Very hard, solid alum. या कोई भी salt देखे. Then next one.
They are usually non-volatile.
Non-volatile means they do not escape or vaporize easily. Recall that, do not vaporize easily. Like you are seeing the salt and then vaporizes immediately in front of you. Has it happened? Or let us say sea water. Radhika, is the, for example, the salt from vaporizing from the sea that easily? No, because they are non-volatile. Okay, na? So write down. They do not vaporize easily at room temperature. Then
With high boiling point and high melting.
yes, our salt is like NaCl, MgCl2. Yes, a high melting point, high boiling point, some type of substance are there. Next, Joanna, what do you?
They do not conduct electricity in their solid state.
Yes,
They are good conductors of electricity in their molten state.
molten or aqueous solution. Why? Because they produce free ions when they are dissolved in water or in the molten state. Whereas in the case of solid, the free ions are not present. That means ions are binded together, na? Right? चलो हो गया ये. उसके नीचे क्या दिए? One more sentence. पढ़िए, bonus मिल रहा है.
They react faster in aqueous solution.
Yes, they react faster, right? Because they are free ions, right? Na? So they react faster. That's why all ionic reactions are very fast. When जिसमें ions रहेंगे वो बहुत fast होगा reaction because they are single. Immediately they react. ठीक है? चलो. Then any other point is there? नीचे example दिया है. एक बार just go through the examples. कौन से example दिया है? Children? Sodium chloride. हाँ? Magnesium chloride and
Calcium oxide.
magnesium chloride और calcium oxide. और कोई example दिया है? ये 3 example हमने कर भी दिए. ठीक है ना? उसके बाद next page में open कीजिए. What is the next part? Covalent. Simple. अब covalent पे जाएंगे. ठीक है ना? Children, I told you this topic is very cool. Why? Shorter topic. ठीक है? Now let us understand this. This is a bigger part of the topic. Okay, and this bigger part we have to understand now, covalent bonding. This is the second type of bonding, okay, which is covalent bonding. Let's understand covalent bonding. What is covalent bonding? Maybe theory part will get over today. ज़्यादा नहीं है, हम taking easily and moderate speed में हम लगे रहे. You are also coming and drawing the structure. So this is short topic. I have to tell you one thing. Okay, covalent bonding is nothing but what? Children, mutual sharing of electrons. Mutual sharing of electrons, one or more pair. Sharing of electrons, one or more to form. Mutual sharing of electrons, okay, one or more between two atoms to attain stability or 8 electrons. In fact, 8 electrons में यहाँ पे duplet आ रहा है बस. Not just 3. For example, mutual sharing of electron. Here, most important thing over here is what? That this kind of bond is actually what formed between non-metals only. Non-metals only have a tendency to what? For example, share, because they are not able to gain. They are able to gain, but they are not able to lose. So non-metals के बीच में ये bonding होगा. सबसे पहला condition. ठीक है ना? Okay. Let us understand this. Now let us understand the Lewis symbol, which the gentleman for Lewis actually gave out. Now Lewis symbol लिखना कैसे? पहले आपको ये बता देता. ये basic. What is Lewis symbol? It is a symbol of an element. Okay? It is a symbol of an element with valence electrons shown in the form of dots or cross. Okay? ठीक है. Now let's see. Like हाइड्रोजन का Lewis symbol क्या होगा? हाइड्रोजन का symbol लिखिए चलो. ठीक है, और उसके ऊपर कितने बैलेंस इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है, एक ही है, तो एक क्रॉस या डॉट डाल, इधर भी ऊपर साइड में डाल दीजिए, इधर डाल सकते हैं, इधर डाल सकते हैं, कोई भी जगह, ठीक है। देन नेक्स्ट एलिमेंट हीलियम, हीलियम के पास 2 वैलेंस इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, दो, ठीक है। नाउ सिंस इट इज एक्चुअली स्टेबल तो दोनों साथ में डाल सकते हैं। लिथियम हैज गॉट 2,1, तो इसके पास बिकॉज़ ये आई का डॉट है और क्रॉस कर दे, that is lithium is having 1 valence electrons which will participate in the bond formation. Then बेरिलियम के पास कितने इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हैं, 2, कैसे मालूम पड़ेगा, आपने पीरियोडिक टेबल किया 1 to 20 आपको याद रखना है। Then beryllium, what about beryllium? After that boron. Then carbon. Carbon is having how many? 4 valence. Then nitrogen is having east, west, north, south of your pairing. There is one pair of electron will come. After 4 pairing starts over. Okay na? Then oxygen के साथ में east, west, north, south, फिर अपने को 6 चाहिए oxygen. Then what is nitrogen के बाद oxygen के बाद chlorine, 7 इलेक्ट्रॉन है इसके पास. तो पहले east, west, north, south, again 2, 5 हो गया, 6 ऑलरेडी से 7. या इसको ओपन रखिए क्योंकि इधर से बॉन्डिंग करना है तो आपको इधर ओपन करना है और यहाँ पे 2 पैर ओपन, ठीक है ना. ये देखिए फ्लोरीन के बाद नियॉन, नियॉन चिल्ड्रन 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर देयर, सो ईस्ट, वेस्ट, नॉर्थ, साउथ, 4 इलेक्ट्रॉन हो गए, 5, 6, 7 सबको पेयर कर दीजिए, पेयरिंग. पहले एक इलेक्ट्रॉन डालने का चारों बाजू. ओके, नियॉन के बाद क्या है चिल्ड्रन, नियॉन के बाद सोडियम आता है. सोडियम का इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन सेम एज दिस वन, लिथियम. व्हाई 281 ना. मैग्नीशियम 282. ओके, एल्युमिनियम 283. ओके, देन नेक्स्ट इज व्हाट, एल्युमिनियम के बाद कौन सा एलिमेंट है, सिलिकॉन. सिलिकॉन 4. ओके, फास्फोरस 5, ईस्ट, वेस्ट, नॉर्थ, साउथ, एंड देन व्हाट, सल्फर east, west, north, south, and again here 6 just oxygen. Okay, ये ऊपर डाल सकते हैं, किधर भी डाल सकते हैं, since oxygen के जैसे correspond करे तो will show over there. Then fluorine, यहाँ पे chlorine है 1, periodic table, ठीक है, सबके पास 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन इधर छोड़ दीजिए. Then next is what, for example argon, argon has got all 8 electrons. Let us come to this non-metals. इसमें से non-metals जो रहेगा वो covalent bond form करेगा. Let us take an example over here. Hydrogen has got 1 electron in the outermost shell. It approaches another hydrogen atom. That also has got 1 electron. Now, since they are atoms of the same element, they cannot lose and gain. So, what is it? They will share. Let us share the electron. Like a partnership. Okay? And once they share, what happens? This electron is being shared. So electron is being shared means what? Duplet form. Duplet means इसका stability both are acquiring inert gas configuration of helium. Yes or no? तो तुम ऐसा भी बना सकते हो या फिर ऐसा बना सकते हो. Right? तो ये सर्कल में देखिए 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन इसके पास, ये सर्कल में देखेंगे 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन इसके. That means what? Both are acquiring stability. This is called dot structure. This is called dot structure, and dash structure इसका क्या होगा? When one pair of electron is single dash. So that means one is called dot structure, other is called dash structure. ठीक है? Next is let us say chlorine. Chlorine के पास 7 electron है. Already told you. It approaches another chlorine atom. This electron is being shared with this. This electron is being shared. What is get? Chlorine. Yes or no, children? These are non-bonding electrons. Means the electrons which are in the form of pair, they don't take part in the bond formation. They are spectator kind of electrons. जो participate कर रहे हैं ये दोनों हैं. तो क्या बनेगा? Chlorine, chlorine. Right? Dash. You will say, sir, only 1 pair of electron is being shared, so आपने single, but you said 1 or more. ठीक है? So like let's say, for example, oxygen. Oxygen has got how many electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 और ये 6 ले ली. Another oxygen. Here 287, children, 287. यहाँ पे क्या होगा? 288. Yes or no? ये भी 8 होगा. Like suppose you and your friend are actually what? In the school, in the boarding school, in fact, you're sharing one room. 2 लोग हैं, but room is one only, right? That means here the moment that your parents they come to just see that house or that dormitory, okay, you say this is my room. Friend will say to his parents or her parents that this is my room. Yes or no? That means वो room एक ही है, but दोनों share कर रहे हैं. Twin sharing बोलते हैं इसको. ये electron shared हो रहे हैं दोनों में. Okay, एक उसका electron एक इसका electron. Likewise here, then look at this. तो यहाँ पे अपनो कितना है 6 इलेक्ट्रॉन. But what is important? How many electrons are required to complete this octet? 2. That means it has to share 2 electrons. ये इससे share करेगा, ये इससे share. And what will happen? Immediately you will find that this is, ठीक है? क्या हो गया? Octet complete. Here octet complete, but here 2 pairs of electrons are. So you will say how octet complete? 2 4 6 also 2 4 6 8 हो गया कि नहीं? उसके अराउंड में 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स होने चाहिए या डुप्लीकेट होने चाहिए. स्पेशली इन हाइड्रोजन, लिथियम, बेरिलियम, इसमें सब 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन. देन व्हाट अबाउट दिस? 2,8. दिस इज 2,8. यस और नो? दिस इज डॉट स्ट्रक्चर. इसका डैश स्ट्रक्चर क्या होगा? इसका डैश स्ट्रक्चर विल बी व्हाट? ऑक्सीजन डबल बॉन्ड. Because 1 pair of electron means 1 single dash. 2 pairs of electron means second dash. You say, sir, is it possible to have, for example, triple bond also? Yes, but for quadruple bond is not possible. Why? Atoms will come too close to each other and they will repel. Okay? So here nitrogen is having 3 single electron and 1 pair of electron, and another nitrogen atom is having single electron. You will say, how we will come to know 5 electrons? उसका electronic configuration दिखा रहा है. तुम बोलोगे सर 5 कैसे, लेकिन मालूम पड़ेगा एक पैर. आई टोल्ड यू ना, ईस्ट वेस्ट नॉर्थ साउथ, फिर एक 5वां इलेक्ट्रॉन मिलेगा. वैसे सेम वे ईस्ट वेस्ट नॉर्थ साउथ एंड देन व्हाट? बैक साइड यू पुट इट. व्हाई? बिकॉज़ दे आर शेयरिंग. One electron is being shared with this electron is being shared with this electron is being shared with this. So all of them are sharing, right? What you'll get? 3 electrons. Both the nitrogen atom this time they're sharing 3 electron, children. क्या मिल रहा है? Triple covalent bond. Yes or no? Octet complete. So here 2,8, 2,8. Here 2,5, 2,5. Both are atoms of the same element. And here triple bond. 1 pair, 1 single dash. Second pair, second dash. Third pair, third dash. And if you want to unutilized electrons or unshared electrons, आप ऐसे डाल सकते हैं. No problem. ये 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन जो इधर पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करे उसको डाल सकते. Okay? Because they may question you, sir, इधर तो 6 ही दिख रहे हैं, उसका तो ऑक्टेट 8 है. Clear? Draw this and then we'll proceed further. For break के बाद हम लोग वो देखते हैं. अभी फिलहाल तुम लोग लिखिए पहले डेफिनेशन. लुईस सिंबल का डेफिनेशन लिख दीजिए, उसका सिंबल बना दीजिए साइड में. इज अ बेसिक एंड देन यू कम टू दिस. ठीक है? This is formation of hydrogen. This is chlorine. This is oxygen. But now we are finding only two atoms in the morning, and they are atoms with the same element. तो बोलोगे सर दो different non-metals का combination कैसे होगा? और उसको क्या बोलेंगे? That means there are two types of covalent bonds. वो देखते हैं अभी. पहले all of you write down. Done all of you? Nitrogen. करो आराम से मजे से. Okay. ठीक है, over now. So formation of hydrogen, formation of chlorine, oxygen, nitrogen. These are the atoms of the same element. Okay, ना सबका? Okay. Now covalent bondings are of two types. Okay. One is covalent bondings. Covalent bonding सबसे पहले एक बार I'll just explain you this type of bonding in the case of covalent. Okay, ना? Covalent bonding can take place between atoms of of same element or like atoms. Like atoms means what? HH, ClCl, Br, I, OO, N2, NN. These type of bonds are said to be what? Non-polar covalent bonds. Why? They are called as non-polar covalent bonds means what? The sharing takes place. This type of bonds are said to be what? Non-polar covalent bond. Why? Because sharing is equal. Equal. Why? Because difference in the electronegativity is zero. Difference in the electronegativity is zero. So जब difference zero हो गया तो इलेक्ट्रॉन equally share होंगे. यानी ये जो हाइड्रोजन है इन लोग के बीच में इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रेजेंट रहेंगे. ये न्यूक्लियस है हाइड्रोजन का, ये न्यूक्लियस. Exactly at center between the two nuclei of hydrogen, electrons will be. That is the pulling power will be equal. But when the unlike atoms are actually what are taking part in the bond formation like covalent bond, unlike atoms में कौन से आते हैं? Let us take an example over here. So electron, that bond becomes polar. The whole molecule may not be polar, but the bond becomes polar. ये देखिए कैसे? Unlike atoms में, for example, one hydrogen atom is actually what? Is having one electron. इसका electron negativity 2.1 है, ठीक है? ये अप्रोच करता है क्लोरीन को. क्लोरीन के पास 7 इलेक्ट्रॉन. तो ये इसका नेचर और इसका नेचर will be different. Yes or no? Because ये जो ज़्यादा powerful है, that means this is something which is having an electron negativity of 3.0. Means it's having greater power to pull the electrons. So when these two atoms they share electrons, ठीक है ना? ये sharing क्या हो रहा है? Unequal हो गया. ये इलेक्ट्रॉन इसके पास नजदीक है चला जाएगा. इसका इलेक्ट्रॉन, ये इलेक्ट्रॉन of hydrogen is more towards chlorine, and this creates a kind of what? For example, an unbalanced or unequal kind of sharing of electron. Means the electrons are actually what? More towards this and less towards this. जब इलेक्ट्रॉन डेंसिटी या इलेक्ट्रॉन का पॉपुलेशन ज्यादा हो गया फ्लोरीन एक एटम की तरफ, तो इसके ऊपर एक स्लाइट नेगेटिव चार्ज डेवलप होगा. Why electrons are negatively charged and hydrogen is having a slight positive charge. That means this polarization or movement of electrons towards one atom more and less to the other is called as a polarity, two opposite poles. Like for example, US has become very much rich and Africa has become very much poor. ये जो difference है in terms of the economy of the countries, okay, is because of what? वहाँ पे ज़्यादा, for example, we can say for example the resources are there, better infrastructure according to geographical location we can see. Gulf countries, why they are flourishing? Continuously they are having oil. Oil is the king over. Dubai, if you see, I mean, it's out of the world. People just say, I have not visited. What is important over here is that this particular, there's a polarization. एक side आप देखेंगे तो a country like Africa, okay, is having malnutrition, na? Okay, whereas on the other side, they are actually what pizza and burgers are going on. Polarization, right? On one side, a country is having highest population, China. On the other side, a country which is having a least population. कौन सा country which is having least population? किसी को जनरल नॉलेज मालूम है? हाईएस्ट तो मालूम पड़ गया चाइना. लीस्ट कभी देखा है किसी की? Like आज देखना, ठीक है ना? Internet. Now look here. What is important over here? The electrons are getting pulled more towards one atom and less to the other. This is called polarization. This kind of bond is said to be polarized or polar covalent bond. इसको क्या बोलेंगे चिल्ड्रन? ये non-polar हो गया, तो non को हटा दो, क्या मिलेगा? Polar. Polar means two poles apart. Your brother is opposite of you, sir. We are just opposite. एक वो positive है, मैं negative. Just an example. That means what is important over here is that what is the time?
121.
बस last, ठीक है? और this is polarized kind of. ये polarization हम लोग बात नहीं करते हैं, ठीक है ना? एक ब्रेक लेते हैं, ब्रेक के 12:28 हुआ कि कितना हुआ?
12:28.
12:28. Okay, we'll explain you after 2 minutes. Relax करो. Then after the break, of course nobody will go out for a break because 1 minute is there, because it will take some time. So we'll just keep this thing as it is. Okay. In the meantime, you can just pop it on if you want. Okay. So then we'll go for this unlike graphics. So when the sharing is between कौन सा country with least population?
Vatican City.
हाँ?
Vatican
Vatican City. कितना population है?
800.
800. Vatican City 800 only. और यहाँ पर वो billions पे चल रहे हैं. ठीक है कि नहीं? ये इम्पोर्ट पोलराइजेशन. वहाँ यहाँ पे भीड़ है, वहाँ पे कोई नहीं. Like because when you go to people they say European countries, streets are like empty, like lockdown जैसा लगा है ऐसा. और इंडिया में तो लॉकडाउन में भी बहुत ज्यादा रश था, right? Comparatively. So you can understand the difference between the population and the density. ठीक है? 800 क्या स्क्वायर मीटर है कि पॉपुलेशन है? देखा कि नहीं? हाँ, क्योंकि मालूम पड़ स्क्वायर किलोमीटर देख रहे हो, एरिया मत देखो, पॉपुलेशन देखो, ठीक है ना? हाँ. Okay, we'll have a break. Okay, enjoy your break.
Even again.